Hello. Today on the show we have Pamela. She will introduce herself and tell us more about her life, then explain an interesting topic today about mental health. We will discuss more as we continue. Welcome to today's show. Hi Pamela, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm happy to be here with you. Yeah, I'm fine. My name is Pamela and my surname is Pamela. I finished school recently. I finished school in Moi University. I studied psychology. Psychology is about mental health and how to encourage people to reduce stress and such issues. I felt this is important because, especially in the deaf community, we lack enough mental health personnel working on issues of deaf people. So I felt it was important to learn psychology for a long time so that I could later work on improving mental health for the deaf community.
That is good. Mental health is very important topic because not just the deaf community have issues in mental health. Many people, especially during the COVID time, a lot of people are going through a lot of stress, and it's very important that you decided to go through this course, which is very demanding. That is good. Maybe we can explain different terms which are used in mental health. Maybe Pamela, you can tell us more. What is mental health exactly?
Mental health specifically is a situation in life. For example, you could have stress or depression or other issues which come through the course of life. So it's normal. So mental health is trying to cope with these issues that may be affecting how we live our lives. So generally, we can say mental health is the conditions of a person's psychological well-being. For example, if now something happens that makes you feel low, then you continue to stay with this feeling like stress. You become sad for a long time. You can't live well. You become discouraged. So such issues, this feeling, these feelings, sometimes you don't even eat well. So some may cry all the time. Such issues, if you continue to live in the same situation, your mental health becomes poor. So if you resolve these issues, your mental health improves and you become better.
And that is good. I see sometimes people going through a lot of mental health issues. You can find a person might kill themselves, or maybe you become so discouraged, or you might have a lot of issues in your own life. So you need a counselor like Pamela to help you go through life. We can learn some words which are used in mental health, which we have explained already, mental health. So maybe we can talk about stress. Pamela, what is stress?
So the word stress means we normally have issues in life. So how do we cope with these issues? That's what stress generally means. For example, when there is traffic and you're coming from home and you start to get worried. So this is a form of stress. All situations in life have stress. It's normal. Stress is normal. But stress becomes an issue when you cannot solve this stress or these issues that are causing you stress. That's when it becomes a problem. So, yeah, stress is a must. Stress is a part of life.
I also live very far in Machakos and I work in Nairobi every day. I have to go through traffic. You know, life is not easy in Nairobi. When you live in the village, it's better. Life there is good. But here, we have problems with traffic, especially when you are in a hurry. It can be stressful. Imagine you want to reach home to cook for your husband and children. So there's traffic. You must have stress, but if you can control that, it becomes easier. So let's discuss grief. What is grief?
So the word grief means that, for example, if a friend or a relative has died and you feel very sad, the word grief is specifically used when a person dies. And it's not used in other situations of sadness. It's only specific for when a person has died or passed away. This sadness sometimes stays for some time. It's normal to cry and feel bad and feel sad. But when it continues for maybe a long time, the sadness, for example, when a person dies and it continues for a long time, maybe a year or two, without being resolved, then it becomes a mental health issue. At this point, you might need to see a counselor. If you cannot see a counselor, then you could see other people to help you with the same issues. For example, you can see a pastor in your church, or you could possibly meet, and if you're Muslim, you can meet with an imam and see how they can help you resolve such issues. So there are other different types of support that you can also get, maybe from friends. Your friends can support you. Sometimes your family can also support you, and different people, because you get different types of support. So it's normal. Normally, you can grieve for maybe a year or so. You can feel low, which is allowed. You can feel sad, unmotivated, and you may feel like you don't want to eat. Your appetite has become so low, and you keep thinking about the person that died. And maybe if it was a friend or a parent, you can keep thinking about it. But it's good to motivate yourself to maybe engage yourself in different activities, try and do different things, because it's normal for people to die. It's a part of life, and it's normal to feel sad.
True.
Yeah. So it's normal.
Okay, that is true. Sometimes we have lost our loved ones, and it is hard to live without, but it is life. So now we can move to a different word, which is anxiety. So what is anxiety? Anxiety, what does it mean, Pamela?
Okay, so the word anxiety means that that's the sign for the word anxiety. So it means that you do not have peace. You just don't have peace. Maybe you're staying at home and watching TV and you're just thinking about bad things. You're just thinking about that issue. You don't have peace. You're just anxious all the time. You're just worried and anxious. Something is bothering you, but you don't really know exactly what the problem is. You don't really get what the issue is. You're just anxious. You have no peace. You're looking for a solution and you don't know what the solution is. You have unrest. Sometimes you can have a problem for a long time. You have stayed with the same problem for a long time, that your mind and your body start to develop anxiety. It has stayed with you for quite some time. the stress has stayed with you maybe for years, 1, 2, 3 years. You have been stressed and your body has become used to that. It doesn't know how to be any different way. So when you're trying to rest or you're trying to relax, you're just worried. Your brain isn't keeping quiet.
Okay, so Pamela, tell us about the next word, which is mood swings. Mood swings. What does mood swings mean?
Okay, so mood swings is a situation where maybe sometimes you're happy for no reason. Sometimes you just wake up feeling happy and you're seriously happy. So you just wake up, you want to interact with people, you want to meet other people, maybe you're even bothering them because you're happy, and then immediately you just change and you become angry. You become very angry, and people are now wondering, what's the problem, because they don't understand why you've just changed immediately, why you're angry all of a sudden. And at the same time, you could just change and become sad. And then people are wondering, why aren't your emotions consistent? They just keep changing every time. So this is what we usually call mood swings, when your emotions just keep changing, that maybe a situation has happened that makes you feel sad. That's normal, But when it's coming from nowhere, the sadness is coming from nowhere, or you're just becoming angry, then that's what we describe as a mood swing. Yeah.
Before I heard that pregnant women are always moody. How is that? How is that?
Okay, so yeah, it's true that pregnant women sometimes have that situation. They may become angry or happy, maybe even did something small, and they just become so mad. But it's normal. Their bodies have a lot of changes, so it's normal for pregnant women to have those. They're carrying a baby. It's not like other people. It's different. So yeah, and they can't really control that. So for pregnant people, it's normal. But for people who are not pregnant, if your emotions are changing in such a manner, then it means maybe you have some mood swings, and it could be a mental health issue. So maybe you can see a counselor to see maybe where the problem is, and try and see why your moods keep changing all of a sudden. Because if 1 minute you're happy and the next you're angry, then something is wrong, because you can't be happy for 1 minute and then immediately your emotions just change and you become sad. There has to be a problem somewhere. So when you see a counselor, you try and figure out where is the problem exactly.
Okay, we've talked about pregnant women, but surprisingly, I heard people who use drugs can also have mood swings. Sometimes they are happy, sometimes they are... I wonder why. What really happens?
Okay, so sometimes when people are addicted, they have issues like this. Because, for example, when you meet a drunk person, maybe in town, and you see them telling stories and they're happy, and then immediately they start fighting people, and you wonder, what's the problem? But it's mood swings.
That is very interesting, Pamela. Maybe you can explain to us about sadness, because it is a part of mental health issues. Tell us about sadness. Well, sadness is a situation when something has happened in your life and you start feeling low. You feel unmotivated. You feel like crying. Maybe you want to cry. You have no interest. You just feel sad. You may want to stay in your room the whole day. That is normal. If something bad happens, it's normal to feel sad. But you must remember, in mental health, not everything is bad, because emotions are normal. But when it persists over a long time, then problems come up. It's normal to feel sad. For example, when you lose your job, you feel sad. But if the sadness persists for a long time, maybe a day or a week, then it means it is not healthy. Sadness is normal, and many times it is a sign of other mental health issues. For example, if you're stressed for a long time, you will feel sad. If you have anxiety, you must feel sad. If you have mood swings, you feel sad sometimes. It's a sign that your emotions are low, and when you struggle with mental health issues, you feel low. So it affects your mental health, your emotions get low. So many times, example, it's not good for mental health. I think when you're sad, you can have depression. So let's learn about depression. What does it mean? The word depression, the sign, it is used to describe extreme stress. With stress, you're able to work, you can do different things, you can meet friends and family. But when this stress becomes extreme, you cannot go to work or eat or even sleep. You cannot sleep. You are stressed. It means you're depressed. For example, when you want to cry, even when something good happens, you can't be happy. It means you're depressed because your sadness has become extreme. Sometimes you see people committing suicide because the sadness has stayed for a long time. They do not feel happy. They feel like they want to cry. They have no motivation, interest for things they used to enjoy. For example, sports or watching TV. When you're depressed, the interest for these things get lost. Maybe you loved meeting friends, now you don't want the things which you previously enjoyed. You don't want anymore because you are depressed. Maybe you hate meeting friends. Things which you used to enjoy, you don't enjoy them anymore. That's depression. Today I have learned new things. I thought depression is stress, which is why I signed stress as depression. But now I have learned the difference. As you see, we have an expert. So maybe we can explain about frustration. What does frustration mean? Frustration is, for example, when you want to do something. For example, when you want to do something, then you don't get to do it. For example, if you wanted to discuss something with someone and they come late, you feel frustrated. You feel annoyed. Why are you late? There's a difference between anger and frustration. Before you become angry, you first get frustrated. After you become frustrated, for some time, you become angry. Like your boss always argues with you. First, you feel frustrated why he's arguing with me? Why is he arguing with me? Then you become angry and you argue back. So you just become angry and you argue. That is an example of frustration. So before you become angry, first you must become frustrated. Then maybe we can discuss disappointment. Okay, disappointment happens when you expect something Like if you are expecting some money and you are broke, then you don't get it, you become disappointed. Like if you are hoping for a job or something good and it doesn't happen, you become disappointed. So we have a difference between disappointment and frustration, because disappointment many times means that you are expecting something which you wanted but you don't get it. Okay, that is very good. You have explained a lot of things. I have learned a lot of things. Maybe you can tell us where we can get your services. Maybe people are going through a lot of things, a lot of disappointments, frustrations, different issues. So maybe you can tell us where we can find your services or even training. Okay, I'm hoping in future I can do more with the videos to explain more in depth, because we want to learn more. So I work for an organization called Fedwen. That's the sign name. Fedwen has a Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and a website which you can take a look at. Follow us on social media pages, and I will share my contact and my email and organization email. So please feel free to reach us and we will be able to communicate. So I will share, and Irene will share on the description about our organization. You can send a message and we will be able to reply. So that's it. I will share her email in the description below. If you need any services, you will get in the description and more. I'm hoping we will be able to collaborate more. Yeah, same. I've enjoyed this session. I feel happy because we also need to learn how to express our feelings. When we are feeling happy, we say we are feeling happy, and other emotions as well. Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed. I hope that we will work together. Welcome next time for more. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're welcome. And I'm hoping that we will work together. Welcome. Welcome again next time for more. Thank you. Bye. Bye.